If you're wondering what university life in Dubai is like, how studying in a college in Dubai is like, watch this video, especially if you're considering Montfort University Dubai. So I have finished my first year in my bachelor's in cybersecurity in Montfort University Dubai, which is located in Dubai Internet City. Now, close to my uni, there are a bunch of other universities as well, which include Heriot-Watt, Wollongong, American University Dubai, and tons of other unis like Symbiosis, Middlesex University, and tons of other universities. So it's all in the same area. It's all in Dubai Internet City. There is another location in Silicon Oasis, which also has a bunch of universities like Birmingham and Manipal and Amity University. So that's a different location, but I'm specifically going to talk about Dubai Internet City and the unis in there. So why did I choose to study in Dubai? First of all, in comparison to other universities abroad in the UK or US or Canada, visa applications can be very difficult, especially for people with an Indian passport or Pakistani passport or Bangladeshi, Nepal. In our region, it is very difficult to get visas to study abroad. And also the cost of living in those countries, just simply because the currency is higher there, it is much more expensive in comparison to Dubai. Now, I actually grew up in Dubai, so I studied here, I had my school life here, my family's here. So naturally, I kind of feel like this is my home and I never wanted to move out of it, which partially, I guess that is also a reason that I stayed. But it's not just that. Even for people like international students, a lot of them prefer to do at least 1 year in Dubai because then they can easily transfer to another country abroad too. It is much easier to get a visa from Dubai in comparison to applying directly from India. Now, if you're considering to study in Dubai, first and foremost, you have to look at the cost, the fee structure, right? The good thing is here, you have a lot of opportunities to get scholarships. And most students do get scholarships in Dubai, whether that's an academic scholarship or a sports scholarship. They even have a quota for students that finish their bachelor's in the university to get alumni scholarship for their master's degree in the same university. At least in DMU, that is the case. And even for people of determination, they have consideration for that as well. There's something called the early bird discount, which is if you apply in the months of like June or July, you will get like 8,000 dirhams off, 10,000 dirhams off in your first year of university. So you have a lot of benefits like that. I will put links in the description for you to check specifically for DMU. And if you have other universities in mind, you can search that up and you will find out on their official website too. When it comes to costs, like the fee structure, your first year of uni with all the scholarships and discounts and everything, you're probably looking at an annual fee of like 43,000 dirhams for your first year in bachelor's, I mean. That will be like 11 lakhs in rupees, in Indian rupees. But then from your next year, you don't get an early bird discount anymore, right? Because you're an existing student. So it would go up. But if you still have a scholarship, you're looking at around like 52,500 dirhams annually, which is like 13 lakhs 65,000 rupees. And then if you do not have any scholarships or anything at all, and you're paying the full fees, you're probably going to pay something like 75,000 dirhams annually, which is like 19 lakhs, 45,000 Indian rupees. This is for bachelor's. Now, if you're studying for master's, then the fees is a little higher. So after scholarship, early bird discount and all of that, probably your fees first year would be like 58,000 dirhams. So that's like 15 lakh Indian rupees. But if you don't have any scholarships or anything like that, and you're paying full fees, it will be like 93,700, something like that, dirhams, which is like 24 lakhs rupees. But most people do get scholarships. Most people do get early bird discounts and everything. So yeah, you probably won't end up paying full fees. And the average cost of living outside of just the university fees, right? Like your rent and your living expenses, transportation, those add up. So I would say on average, you would probably be spending somewhere between 3,500 dirhams up to like 6,500 dirhams, depending on obviously your lifestyle and depending on how much of shopping you do. And if you're just in, a frugal way and you're just paying rent and you're not doing so many outings and you're not that, your expenditure is rather low, then I would say around 3,000 dirhams at least to live a decent, good lifestyle here. And there are some benefits too. Like when you're a student, you get a 50% discount on all metros and RTA buses. So you have to apply for a student null card, and every year you have to renew it. And basically every time you take the metro, you pay 50% less than what the average public is paying for because you are a student. So that is definitely beneficial. It does not apply to gold class and all of that, but a standard null card and a standard normal silver card, you would get 50% discount for that. And there are other benefits like campus life, right? Like how is campus life like in Dubai? Well, a lot of people here commute, which means that most people don't stay in dorms and stay with their roommate in college, in a typical college like how you have back home. Here, it's more like they live with family, they go back home and they drive to uni or they come by metro to uni. So you don't have that much of a, university life in that sense. It's not like student of the year or something like that, but it's a great way for networking because you might have classmates whose parents are owning businesses here or they're well established here for the past like 20 years, So you can do a lot of networking too. And it is multicultural. So although the majority of the people, at least in my class, come from South Asian countries, it is still mixed overall in the university. So on days like International Day, where we all get to celebrate where we're from, you will see a ton of different cultures, cultural food, cultural clothing from everyone's different countries, and it's all over the world. Like it's genuinely very mixed like that. But you do have to keep in mind that the majority of the people will probably be from India, Pakistan, and these kind of places. So if you speak Hindi, it should be quite easy for you too. Of course, if you're somewhere like from Argentina, I don't think you're going to find that many people from your hometown. But yeah, there's a fair amount of Africans. There's a fair amount of people from Arab countries, Arab backgrounds, a few Caucasians. So it's a mixed culture, really. And everybody is super accepting here, and the diversity is real, right? So if you're somebody who comes from a mixed background, you will blend in just fine, because there's a ton of other people like you over here. So that's a good thing. Now, university for most people is either 3 days in a week or 4 days in a week. It's a lot more relaxed compared to school life here. So you have a lot of time, you would say. But the reality is, no, you don't have a lot of time. Because here's the thing, your live lectures might be for 3 days and for a couple hours every day. But back home, you have to study on your own, and a lot of self-study is involved. Because if you want to score high marks, or if you're on a scholarship and you have that additional pressure to score well, you definitely have to take a lot of time on your own to self-study. You have to take a lot of time on your own outside of university to do internships, to give exams for extra certifications, whether that's, for example, if you want to do accounting, right? And you want to be an accountant, you have to give your ACCA exam. You have to give a ton of other extra exams, not just the university exams, because everyone is getting a degree. But what else are you providing? So those kind of things matter a lot too. Now, sports teams, yes. In uni, there's a bunch of sports teams. When it comes to De Montfort, in our university itself, we don't have a sports like football field or anything, but they have an external place in El Safa. So they provide a bus there for the cricket team, for the rugby team. There's even a billiards team in my uni. There's a foosball team, and they do have competitions too, table tennis. So they have a ton of teams like that, and you can join it and you can win medals and tournaments for your university. If you have a sports scholarship, this would probably be something that you might be interested in. So there's definitely things like that. And I would say the university is very cool when it comes to bringing people in. So celebrations are constant in uni, right? Every Tuesday we have something called like a mic day, where there's like people from the music club where they'll have their whole setup and a band and everything. And if you're a singer, you can sing in front of the whole canteen and other students that are sitting there, and you can have your little moment. So those kind of things is pretty frequent in the university. And then National Day, International Day, those kind of celebrations are constant, right? There's a ton of workshops that happen too. And you will constantly be getting emails, and you can sign up for them, and you can attend these workshops from industry experts and people that might be doing something that you want to do in the future and hear their firsthand experience. You will also get certifications for that. And that is something that's really cool too. What about job placements? Now, I'm going to be honest with you, getting a job in Dubai in general is difficult, okay? And doing a part-time job while being in university is difficult too, especially if you're enrolled to be a full-time student. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have a few classmates, right, who also did first year of cybersecurity with me, and they had a part-time job as well. It's difficult for them, to be very honest with you, to balance both. Because you will have to give exams sometimes from home. You will have to study on your own. You have coursework. You have weekly examinations. So to do all of that with a job and those timings clashing together, it doesn't necessarily work out. But if you're a master's student, I think you have a better chance of getting a part-time job in comparison to a first year or second year doing their bachelor's degree. Not only that, you can get internships though, which are like 2-3 days long, 15 days long, maximum a month long, but you probably won't be hired for full-time jobs. And there's no concept of hiring students to work in McDonald's, for example, or to be a waiter over here. That concept, like the whole US mindset, like, oh, I can save money and then pay my fees like that on the side, most likely won't work for you here. So if you're planning on doing that, don't, because you probably won't. There are internship opportunities within the university as well. So you can help with the admin, you can help with university related work, but getting a placement can be a little bit difficult because there's a ton of people applying and very few jobs and very limited seats. So it is competitive, right? Like everywhere else. But once you're a second or third year student, it gets easier. And it also depends on your course. So something like cybersecurity, they most likely would prioritize a third year student instantly. But in other degrees, you might have a bigger opportunity in your first year itself. And so it's always a good idea that whenever you get emails from the university for internships, apply for them. You never know. Build your platform, upgrade your CV constantly. You can even start a LinkedIn account and post there, and you have that portfolio by the end of your graduation. Within those 3-4 years, it will look good. My honest opinion on whether it's worth studying in Montfort University specifically or not, I think it's great. One of the biggest reasons I chose this uni, first of all, is because it's only 3 years long. So a lot of universities here, like the Canadian university and American systems and other types of universities from other countries, they're a 4-year course. So right off the bat, you have to spend an extra year and an extra year worth of fees to get the same degree. But in DMU, it's only 3 years long, and it's a bachelor's degree with honors. So that's kind of something that really attracted me right off the bat. Another thing is their testing method. So in Montfort, the way it works is that it's called a block system testing. So what that means is that you have one big topic per block, and you have to study everything within that topic for that block, and then you're done with it. And then you move on to the next block. And for me, in cybersecurity, I have weekly examinations. So every week we have a little test that makes up 2% of our grade for that block. And we have like 5 of those weekly tests, giving me 10% of my grade. Then I have something called coursework every block. So that could be something like essay writing, that could be something like doing a program on Cisco Packet Tracer or coding something or anything of that sort. And that will make up 40% of my grade, right? And then we have something called a phase test. So that makes up 50% of your grade, and it basically tests you on all the topics for that block. And then you move on to your next block, and the same cycle repeats there. And a lot of other universities do follow this kind of format for particular degrees, like a BBA and things like that. So they follow a similar format to this. And doing your MBA here, is it any different to doing your MBA somewhere else? Yes and no, right? First of all, I think it's very, very important to focus on your job experience, not just having an MBA here, right? And in Dubai, they do value job experience within the city in comparison to job experience back home. They do value that. So if you have worked in companies in the UAE, that is of higher value for sure. And it's very important to have networks, right? Because networking is one of the most important things in Dubai. It's definitely related to who you know and what you know and how you know them. And somebody recommending you is much more likely to get you in the upfront in comparison to somebody who does not have any vasta per se. But you can do that networking from university as well. And that helps for sure. And let me know if you're applying to DMU or if you're considering to apply. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I would love to answer all of them. And I can't wait for you to apply and come to uni. Trust me, I know it can be scary and I was very confused too when I was there back in my first year beginning enrolling for uni. I went to a ton of different universities. I was super confused too, but it works out. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. It's genuinely much easier once you get in. So yeah, I hope you like this video and let me know if you have any doubts. You can always follow up and I would love to answer any of them before you even apply. So yeah, I can give you contacts to the main admin team in my uni as well. So you can contact them directly. I'll give you their number and all of that. So it's an easier experience for you. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.